Hello, everyone, and welcome to She Rides, the podcast where women's cycling takes the lead. I'm Saar.
And I'm Christoph, and today we're diving into the latest race results and hot topics in women's cycling.
And we have guests joining us to share her story. Let's get started, ready? Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 60 of She Rides. We're a bit in the middle of everything. I feel we just had Cyclocross Worlds and the Cyclocross season coming to its end. We have, of course, the track going on. We had Cadel Evans last week, and we have the UE Tour coming soon. But of course, we're still here in the month before the Omloop het Nieuwsblad, so we're still counting down the days till the classics start. And well, to do that, we're just going further with our DS streak, apparently. Hi, Lieselot.
Hello.
Well, yeah, just to get things going, could you maybe introduce yourself to the listeners?
Yes, for sure. I'm not a real DS, so that's the first part. But I'm actually performance manager at FDG United Suez. So that's my current role.
Nice. Well, yeah, we're just gonna dive straight in. You've been to the Olympics, of course, as a cyclist. Yeah, you were even the only Belgian in the road race at the 2008 Olympics. Can you tell us how does the vibe and professional support of that era compares to the Belgian national setup today?
Yeah, well, it's for sure. It's a really long time ago. It feels always like a different life. It's 18 years ago. So yeah, for sure, completely different than back now. I mean, just to start off, like what you said, I was the only Belgian competing there, so it was a lot smaller teams. I think we had maybe 50 or 60 women at the start line to start off with. The biggest team had three. The biggest team of had three three athletes per country. Belgium at last minute only had one spot, so I had to take that spot, or I was selected to take that spot. So that was already quite special. There was not too much tactics because it was just riding up the Beijing Olympic or up the Chinese wall. But yeah, I think, I mean, for the Olympics still we had a quite good I would say staff that was supporting us. But of course, the whole lead into the Olympics, it's nothing to compare with today. I mean, just the support from the teams, it's for sure different. So yeah, it was for sure a different time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and can you tell us it's a long time ago, but can you tell us a bit about the days leading up the race and so on?
Yeah, well, I think it starts a bit earlier, and to think, of course, in China it was really humid and really hot. So also back then I did a lot of heat training already in Leuven. So I was spending a lot of times in the heat chamber. And then actually my last race that I did before the Olympics, I crashed. So that was pretty bad actually. It was not the perfect lead into the race. And then we were 3 weeks, I think, before the Olympics, even already in China. But because I was the only woman, it was quite lonely, I would say, to spend that time there. Especially, I was only 20 years old, so that was not easy. And then, of course, you arrive there in China or in Beijing because the preparation camp was somewhere else in China, which was very, very special also, where they just told us you can train on this road, only on this road. And we're like, yeah, but this is a flat road. We're preparing here for an uphill race, so it would be nice to go train in the mountains a bit. Like, no, you're not allowed to go there. Like, yeah, well, still we're gonna go there. So then they were like, no, you cannot go, you cannot go. And then in the end we did it, but we really found out why that was, because it was just like, yeah, there were no proper roads. It was just China. It's the worst that you could see. And yeah, it was already back then, it was quite a special experience because, of course, from a political point of view, you could question if the Olympics should have been there, but then you're just an athlete who's selected for the Olympics, so you're of course not going to say I'm not going to go. But yeah, also just then once we moved to Beijing, to the Olympic Village, everything's pretty overwhelming, I must say, at that age. And
Well, that's nice. Yeah, so then you've had quite some career after that, but then you retired from professional racing. Was there like a specific moment you were like, okay, when I stop riding, I wanna like influence the sport from another way, the car, go commentate on the races. Was there like a moment for you?
Well, um, I was always really interested in just sports science and how our human body
Mm-hmm.
works, and of course that's very interesting if you're an athlete yourself. So the moment I decided to stop, I was already doing my PhD on exercise physiology, and
Mm-hmm.
I did already some studies also just for the fun of it with my teammates back then at Lotto, um, and actually when I was finishing at my PhD, we had Hira Triches, who was an embedded scientist in Visma and still, who was sometimes coming into the lab in Brussels, who was doing some studies also for the militaries in the Netherlands. And when I talked to him, I was like, oh yeah. You have the dream job, but for sure, women's cycling is there's no such position, and in men's cycling for sure, 2016, it's not possible as a female to have that position. Um, so then I just finished my PhD when I stopped, but then just opportunities came like that. They started broadcasting cycling more on TV, so they asked me if I could do some co-commenting on Sporza. So I said yes, why not? It's nice. And then I had some athletes who were participating in some of the scientific studies who asked, but you have so much knowledge, you want to coach me? And I'm like, okay, why not? Um, and then just the ball started rolling. And when Jumbo Visma started the women's team, they asked me, they offered me a job, and yeah, it was just too hard to say no. And even though I had at that time a really nice job in just a company, I was like, yeah, this is my passion and this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy for me to then switch back.
Well, that's nice. So yeah, you mentioned your PhD and like your studies. Did it help you the studies and that stuff during your career, or did it sometimes make you overthink it all?
I wouldn't say it made me overthink it all. I think it didn't help at all because I mean, just doing a dual career with first doing my master's while I was also yeah, just competing at the highest level. For sure, it's you yeah, the rest, especially everything to do everything good as a professional athlete, you just lack to do some resting at that
Mhm.
time. I mean, I also didn't split my years. I just did everything full-time student. So for sure, it didn't help my career. And then once I started my PhD, I was I knew I knew that I just didn't have the hours anymore to train to be at the highest level that I could do, but I still
Mhm.
really enjoyed being in the peloton. And I also knew that with my experience, I could still be a valuable captain and a valuable teammate for some of the leaders in the teams that I rode for. So for sure, it didn't help me, but it helped me to get the most out of the limited number of hours that I still had to train to push most out of it.
Mhm. Yeah, and then a bit about the mental aspect. How do you make sure like you keep enjoying it, you keep finding the motivation? Because yeah, at that time, like when cycling wasn't too big, the money also wasn't really there yet. Yeah, where do you then keep finding the motivation, let's say?
I think it was easy just for the love of the sport, really.
Mhm.
You just love riding your bike, getting the best out of yourself and of your teammates. And yeah, I mean, it was never a financial
Mhm.
reason to do what we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still today, it shouldn't be. And I think if I would have one athlete or one cyclist that we coach who's just saying, yeah, I'm just continuing for the money, then it's the wrong reason for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And well, then back to before cycling, or like before the career at least. Cycling wasn't your first sport or only sport, right?
No, 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 no. I started playing basketball when I was really young as a kid. My mom played basketball. My dad was actually a really good coach. And so yeah, basketball was really like my sport that I loved the most. And I just started cycling when I was 16, just because I had an older brother who started cycling, and I kind of just did everything what he did. But until I was 18, I combined both. And then I went 1 year to the US as a foreign exchange student. And there I just played basketball for 1 year. And when I came back, I was like, okay, now I start university. I kind of need to make a choice. Am I going to continue basketball? Am I going to continue cycling? And I actually, then just made the call that I was going to do cycling. And it turned out pretty well. But in 2016, when I stopped my cycling career, I found my old love back. So I'm still playing basketball. Well, when I'm home, it's part of my social life as well. But it's just it's a nice game.
Yeah, I think I can agree, Lieselot. Then fast forward. Congratulations on your full distance triathlon win in June. After years of professional cycling, what was the hardest part of learning how to be a runner and a swimmer at an elite level?
You should really let out for sure that elite level, because it was for sure not elite level. No, I mean, when I was a kid, until the age of 12, I also swam in competition, so I have the technique. But to be honest, I never swim anymore. I also don't really like it. I don't have the time. If I'm away with the team, I mean, for sure we have time to run, or we make time. I should say it like this: we make time to go running. Sometimes we try to find some time to ride our bikes, but the swimming was for sure the hardest part. But yeah, that triathlon was more like a kind of a joke that got out of hand with some friends, and they were like, okay. And I said, well, if we're gonna do a triathlon, then we might as well do just a full distance one.
Why
But
not?
yeah, I just sold it to myself like it's just 12 hours or more, just me time, that my kids are not asking my attention, that my athletes are not asking my attention, and I'm just going to focus on myself. And that's it. So mentally, that was for me the easiest part to see it like this.
Did you have any time to use yourself as a scientific guinea pig for that performance, or was it just like, no, once in a lifetime and we see what we can do?
Yeah, for sure. Since I stopped racing myself 10 years ago, I never train with a training plan anymore. I just train when I have time, or I exercise, or I run, or do whatever when I have time, or when mentally I really need it. But of course, I knew that I needed to do some rig trainings, and I knew I needed to do some longer runs and some longer rides. But yeah, I didn't really.
People like this. I trained for 10 months, never skipped a session that my coach prescribed, and she's like, "Boah, I just do full distance and just go with the flow."
I don't want it to seem that it seems easy, because it's for sure it's not. But it helps if you have been a professional athlete and you know where your limits are. I think long distance events, it's really. I mean, it's just. You have just to pace yourself, and you just have to know you cannot go over the limit. And if you know really well where your limits are, yeah, that's the most important. And of course, a lot of things that we tell our athletes every single day. Of course, I didn't do on myself, but some things I did really well. Like just the fueling, I was like, yeah, I just need to get those gels in. And I had an Imodium in my back pocket just in case, because training the gut was not really what I did a lot. But I didn't need it, so everything went fine in the end.
Okay, all ended well, apparently. So hey, let's go back to FDG Suez. As a director of performance, Lieselot, you're managing some of the world's best in that team, like for example, Demi Vollering. How do you balance the hard science with the gut feeling and psychology of a rider like Demi, who already won a lot before she arrived at the team?
Yeah, well, I think, I mean, whether that's Demi or whether that's another rider, I think we try to make a personal development plan for every rider, and see where they can make the next step. And for me, the most important is that, of course, we work evidence informed, I would say, and not evidence-based, but evidence-informed. We know the science, and we have to tell them and explain a rider what the science says. But of course, science is not what works for you as an athlete. And for me, the most important is that an athlete is owner of their own career, is owner of their own steps to make, and we are there as coaches to help them make the right choices. But we're not there to make the choices for them. And I think if we can coach that way, to inform the rider what the science says, what we think from our background, both scientifically, both experience, what is maybe the next step to do. It is important that still the athlete's like, okay, this is what I want to do, and not like, oh, I'm just going to do it because you tell me to do it, because that doesn't work from my experience, or at least you don't get the best out of an athlete this way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like you set the ingredients and they do the cooking. Like or have
We
to do
cook
the
together.
cooking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure, we cook together, but
Yeah.
they for sure do the rest.
Yeah. And then kind of a big frustration in sports science still today. It's not much of sports science is so much based on male subjects. In your research, doing your research, what is the one female specific physiological factor that you think teams are still neglecting today in the women's peloton?
That for me, that's a really hard question. In the first place, I think going back to research for sure. When I did my research and I finished my PhD 8 years ago, or 8 to 10 years ago, it was also my supervisor said, "Wow, let's just do it with men because that's easier." I'm like, okay. At the end, I did some studies with my teammates about the overtraining syndrome and functional overreaching with female riders, but still that was complicated. It is because just you have so many different riders. But for me, the most important is that we just individualize, and not every woman is also the same. There's sometimes more difference between, let's say, a female sprinter and a female GC rider than there would be between two GC riders, male and female. So for sure, it is important that we see female riders as females in the first place, and there's a lot of factors that are that you cannot neglect. I think just one of them is also just the fact that the psychology part, that just that women sometimes react different than males. But then again, that's for me a little bit too black and white, because also you have very emotional men. So of course we need to all look at menstrual cycle. We need to get the taboo out of there. But I do feel that anno 26, it's not a taboo anymore. It is something that we can talk about. That is just something that's also to my male coach, like some riders can just say, yeah, I have my period, or I feel this, or I feel that, and there's no taboo anymore. And I think that's already a first step. I think also just with the changes of the UCI to talk about pregnancy leaves and stuff like this, it's also not a taboo anymore. If a rider is talking to a manager about their long-term career, that they talk about this kind of topic. So I mean, we've come a long way still on the research part. There's so much incredibly things that we don't know yet. And for me, it's also really the risk that we say, but for women, everything is different. No, like it's individualizing what we do at the highest level of sports, but at the same time, a lot of things we just don't know yet. And we don't have to think that because there's one how I would say it's a marketing driven female company, whatever, is like, oh yeah, but for women we need to do it like this and this and this. We need to be careful with that still. But yeah, I personally really enjoy working with some of our partners on the performance side that are like, okay, but we are super interested in how that works for women. And that is, I think, the contribution from our team, what we can give, also not just on the research part, but just to work with companies to make specific products more more suitable for females. And I think that is really a really nice opportunity also for us.
And then you got your PhD, touched a little bit on the effects of cocoa and nutrition on the brain. And then can you give us one superfood or nutritional habit that you think every amateur She Writes listener should adopt?
Yeah. I, it's an open door that I'm actually just gonna go in, but it's not even a superfood. It's just carbs. I think it's the logical answer that just the importance of carbs. We've neglected for such a long time. Also, when I was a writer, it was like you were proud coming back after 4 hours without eating. Um, Old school, very old school, but yeah, just fuel your body with carbs if you're writing before and after, because that's going to make you strong and lean. And don't think that less is more, because it's not. So maybe it's not the most exciting superfood, but it is the most important for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, but that's plain and simple for every She Writes listener. So pretty useful tip. And then let's go to the technology. Women's cycling is seeing a massive influx of tech like wind tunnels, 3D modeling. Do you fear the sport is becoming too mathematical, too fast, or is it the necessary step to take to reach the next level?
In my job, of course, as performance manager, it is a necessary step. I mean, we're talking about marginal gains. There's a lot of improvements and innovations that have been out there in the men's peloton that were just not accessible for females because we didn't have the budget or whatever. But it is something that we just need to take opportunity of. And for me, it's just showing that women on the top side, it's just getting more and more professional. So it's for sure a really necessary step to keep getting the best out of all of us.
Mhm. And then your recent work, late 2025, on the gut microbiome of World Tour riders is pretty fascinating. How much of a rider's form is actually determined by their gut health rather than just their watts per kilo?
Yeah. Well, I think it is the gut health is just one of the contributing factors that will influence the watt per kilo, of course. Um, I think that is also an area in research that we don't know a lot of, and that was just an observational study that we did with some ex-colleagues of mine in Brussels. But yeah, just to get an insight in how the gut is working and how that is influenced over the year and over the season, and how in a next step, hopefully, a research can help us how we can impact that as well. It is for sure really really important. But we all talk about train the gut, and that is super important to get those carbs in, not only to be able to tolerate it, but also to actually absorb them. But yeah, for sure, your gut is super important, and I think we don't know anything about it yet. That there's still a lot of if you see what they do already with rodents in some lab studies with rodents, it's really fascinating how that can impact your performance. But yeah, that's still far ahead of us, I would say.
Yeah. And then the other big evolution in 2026, we're seeing more and more AI-driven training models this year. Like also the Vector platform that the team is using is also like kind of an AI um,
Mhm.
engine behind it. In your view, can an algorithm ever replace the intuition of a performance coach when a rider says they are tired?
For me, not. For me, really, at this moment, AI is just really a helpful tool to make our job more efficient. To a lot of the data that we gather, to just look at it in a better way. To not work with Excel files anymore. To just have everything done for you in with one click. Just so we work faster, and we can actually spend more of their time to what you say, to talk to the rider, to listen to what they say, because yeah, of course we're making steps, and it's getting better and better what the models are predicting, but for me it's still in a descriptive way, and not in a predictive way, and still you can have all the data coming in the from wearables and whatever, but if a rider says, look, I don't care, but this and this and this says I'm ready, but I'm tired, yeah, then let go of everything and we just listen to what they say, because the truth is a lot of those AI models are of course based on data from normal human beings, and as a matter of fact, the people we work with are not just the normal beings. They all have some kind of physiology that you're just like, yeah, I don't understand, but that's why you're so good at what you do. So yeah, I think maybe it will be for now. If I would train a lot of just amateur riders, I would trust a lot of that AI driven coaching approaches. But still, then I think even for an amateur rider who has a coach, it's nice to just talk to a human being and say, hey, but you're doing a good job. Don't worry if you had to work tonight until 6 or 7 and you had that training session planned. Let it go. Like, you need to rest tonight and do it tomorrow. That's always going to be more important, and that's not going to be able to be replaced by an AI robot, in my opinion.
How does FDG Suez implement a safety net to ensure that the good climbers stay healthy enough to have a sustainable career?
Yeah, I think one of the nice guidelines is the IOC guideline that they have about Red S. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel. I think there's a lot of smart people out there who also created those guidelines, and I think they're a good first step to follow. And then of course it's to us as a team to get organized within a team, that we have a nutritionist, we have good doctors, and that we talk to each other. That all the people who were working around each athlete are just talking to each other, and that also we create an environment where people feel safe to communicate about what it is, but that we make again those small process goals to make sure that we work on every part that's preventing REDS or whatever. There are some other terms now also used, but for us, for sure, yeah, a healthy athlete, or the best athlete will be a healthy athlete, and we know that elite sports is not necessarily the definition of being healthy, but for sure you can do it as healthy as possible. And yeah, at the end, if some riders individually want to make some choices that maybe we don't fully support, we need to make sure that it is done in a healthy way. But yeah, for now, I think we talk a lot about this with riders, and they also know that our vision is to have a holistic approach where we want healthy humans in the first place, before we want just short-term careers and push everything out of it, at the expense of your own health. So it is a difficult topic, but yeah, for sure, having the right people around in your staff, and making sure that you talk about it and you make it a topic that you can discuss with the riders, and they feel that we don't push them to do things that we don't want. Even in the contrary, we want to help them to tackle some things. I think that is where we start, and that's what also at FDG United Suez where we stand for and how we try to work.
Yeah, super important to create a healthy environment for the human being first, and then the athlete. That's yeah. Saar, you're still following along?
Yeah,
Should we
yeah, yeah.
switch? Should we switch to some latest news and
Yeah,
give you the
can I have
platform?
my moments?
Yes, you can have your moment. You should.
Well, okay, then I think keeping the best for last is overrated, so we're just gonna start with it immediately. As I told you, we had Trek Heroes, and let's say the televised start of Lotte Kopecky season, because we of course had the Belgian champs as well. So that was nice. I'll just tell you first about Lotte, and then we'll go over some of the other results. So well, on the first day, she was part of like the team who did the qualifications for the women's team pursuit. They qualified for the next round, and then on the second day we had the elimination. But we had the elimination, and yeah, it's always in a totally neutral opinion, super nice to watch Lotto ride an elimination, because yeah, so she won it, which it was also with like such a class. And important to keep in mind here is that the second was Victoire Berthaud. Why? Because on Wednesday she was doing the points race as well, and we had Victoire Berthaud coming in second again to Lotte, so we saw some tears on the track, which was kind of sad. But again, like a very impressive win of Lotte. So yeah, I'm very excited about the start of the season. It has been like a really busy week for me, but like the moments I found the time to watch cycling made me very happy.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us something about the track heroes? If you want, you can
Emma
talk about your
Finucane came for
highlights.
a world record on the Flying 200
Yeah.
start. She took it, and along the way, she just won the European Championship in the sprint as well. just as a side gig that she wasn't aiming for. The individual sprint was very nice, especially the final between Team GB and Team Germany. Like for almost the entire race, Team GB had a quite comfortable lead until the finish. Then they lost with 0.003 of a second, so which was a pretty crazy last lap the Germans took off. So that was very interesting as well. What else? Hey, we shouldn't forget Shari Bosset with the bronze medal on the
Yes.
Omnium, huh?
And Helene Hesters, a guest
And Helene Hesters,
champion.
yeah. Oh my God, we should all that Lotte
But like the
Kopecky bias
Belgians are
here.
on a roll. It's like crazy. So
Yeah.
far, 3 European titles and a medal for Sherry as well. That's really crazy. Well, we had a world record as well on the individual pursuit of Josie Knight. And then what did we have? Yeah, so we had that today. We had the individual pursuits. And then, of course, we just have the medicine left and the keirin. So, yeah, in my opinion, it's these are super exciting track heroes. Some good racing.
It's just because not everybody is still there on super form, or they're just not there racing. So that makes it interesting to see new names popping up this week. That's nice to see.
Yeah.
That's what I think of it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go to cyclocross, or you want to go to the road, Saar?
Yeah, we'll just like do it in proper order from now on. So we had the cyclocross world championships. Of course, a very nice discipline. I'm still picking it up, but not super successful. We had the mixed relay, but like Christophe, I can ask you the question: did you actually watch it?
No, you're the only one who watched the mixed relay, Saar. I mean, really, you're the only one who gets excited for the mixed relay.
Oh, but it was very nice. But yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I still like it. And it was very interesting. And you can, you do get an idea of the parkour before. And yeah, okay, I can't win this debate. But yeah, the Dutchies actually started super strong and they kept it till the end. We had Italy like coming close, but then in the end they lost it. Like overall, if you looked at the selections of the Netherlands and Italy, I think it was quite obvious that the Netherlands with Van den Rooij, Bentveld, Del Grosso, and so on had a better selection. And then Belgium came from far back to a bronze medal. So it was a nice race, but you wouldn't know. Do you want to continue with the women juniors?
That was a nice race. Yeah. Yeah, we had the Czech girl Barbara Bukovska, who finally got her revenge from last year when she cheered 1 lap too early and Lise Revolt took over last year. So this year she really got her revenge and she beat Lise Revolt fair and square, I think. And it's like we saw the classic scenario from all season long with the junior women when those two are racing. Lise Revolt starts like a bullet and then fades away, and Bukovska is like terrible starter. And then the diesel engine starts to hit, And then she finally overtook Lisa Vol and took her world championship. So after the Euros, she won. She won the worlds as well, and second Czech girl on the podium as well. So a big day for the junior women.
Yeah. Well, then over to U23, where we had Leonie Bentveld, not the most surprising win, although I expected maybe Celia Jury to be a little bit more competing there for the win. But it was Kladanova who came very close, and yeah, she's been riding quite well, but to be here and to compete with her, like it was quite exciting till the end. So that was for sure one of the most exciting races of Sunday, of course. And then we had the women elite race. So yeah, it first, like in the beginning, it was kind of exciting with Alvarado and Pieterse still there. Then we had Pieterse like crashing, and at that moment Alvarado was like kind of like dropping, but some sort of still there. And then with Pieterse crashing, the gap got a bit bigger. Then Alvarado came a bit closer. Then later on we had Brandt crashing as well, so then it was a bit exciting again. But then yeah, Lucinda Brandt took it again. So my very hot take with Fukuna didn't really work out. But saying Brandt was also so boring. So but it is very cool for her that she could take the win after this season. So that's super deserved. And yeah, just very nice for her, I think.
Yeah, kind of boring and predictable winner, but I'm so happy for Lucinda Brandt that she took it. After the season she got, it would be so classic just to not win the world title. It's so classic. So I'm very happy she finished it off and she got it. That's all that matters.
Do you remember your prediction, actually? Then we can check how accurate it was. I got 1 out of 3, actually.
I got probably 1 out of 3 as well. I don't know what I said.
Fukuna was on 5, but...
Yeah. Well, I got the winner.
Anyways.
That's 3 points. That's all you need.
So yeah, we had cyclocross. This weekend we also had Cadel Evans, and it was an FDG win.
Nice teamwork, Lieselot, we saw there for Ali. Yes, I think she needed the nice teamwork, because at a given moment I could sense like, ooh, this is going to be sketchy for Ali, but the team really did a great job, I think.
Yeah, it was almost copy paste from last year, where we did something similar, and also Ali in the end won. We know that if it was a sprint, if it was going to be a sprint, and we could have Ali still there, that nobody could beat her. And in the lead into Cadel Evans, she was a little bit sick, so it was kind of still seeing how it would go. But yeah, that was nice to have both Amber and Lauren Dixon there in that front group, so they could just keep everything under control. And Amber really had a good on the climb. She really had a good eye on where Ali was, and she was like, yeah, okay, if I can just bring her back to that group, it's gonna be fine. So yeah, I think it was really every year it's really nice to start off in Australia with some wins, and again with 2 stages in 2 down under, and then winning Cadel Evans with Ali, the 3 days. It's already a good start of the season for us, for sure.
Yeah,
good for
a
the
very
team
good
spirit.
start.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for me watching it was kind of funny, so I was like rewatching like the full race in the morning, because I thought like, oh, I have time, no cyclocross yet. And then the moment, like the final 500 meters, the doorbell rang. So, and then I came back and I was like, oh fuck.
A morning well
yeah.
spent, Saar.
Yeah.
At least the scenery is nice in the Cadel Evans Oceans race.
Yeah, that's true. Again, also Josie Nelson on 2. That's also she's also going very
let's
strong.
see what she can do in the spring when all the big guns are out.
Yeah.
I'm curious if she really took that step forward. Should be nice for Josie.
Well, yeah, now I'm gonna like go of the planning, but we have to mention, of course, Connie
Yeah.
Hayes' first race of the season. The Pionera race, I searched the whole internet to find some sort of a live stream. It was, by the way, also Mieke Dox's first race, and Perikitko was also racing. But I didn't find one, and like at the point I saw something, I like didn't completely trust it. I wasn't really interested in a virus of some sort, so I did it like with the live stream of ma petite things. You know the team I'm talking. Ma petite entreprise. They were having a live stream like from the climb and from the finish, and then it was like 15 minutes watching the live stream to then just like see like some fake image the peloton pass by. But it was an experience. We saw Ariana Fidanza taking the win there for Asensio Oda Oenig-Dissinger. Maybe you want to say something there about the high-tech bias now we need to say.
Yeah. What is it? And yeah, now she's storming the elite scene as well. Well, of course, to be honest, 1.1 race, and how much kilometers was it? 70 or 90? So
Yeah, it got short to
still a lot
72
of
or something.
improvement needed to be with the big girls. But hey, come on, at her age, it's a nice nice start.
Yeah.
That and we had Karin Söderqvist on place 5. So
Yeah. And
pretty good
Carolina
start.
Perikitko on
There was a
4,
happy team
just to
manager in
mention.
the WhatsApp group.
I can imagine. Well, I think that's no, not even all racing covered, because I said it's almost over cyclocross. Well, yeah, no, it's not, because we also had Maldegem. Of course, like the likes of Brandt are now done for the season. But we had like Schreiber, Van der Heijden, Fouquenet. Oh, something we forgot to mention actually during our cyclocross worlds recap, we had an incident between Zemanova and Marianne Berger. Bits of pushing
Weird.
there. Yeah, it's
Pretty
but,
clumsy from Zemanova, but
yeah, but
still the
the
reaction was like,
maybe was a bit.
"Ooh, how stressed were you?"
Yeah.
Like okay, it was a bit naive, a bit yeah, from Zemanova to come flying in like Superman, but still
Yeah,
you
but I
don't
think
push someone.
you do see more
Yeah, you see
maneuvers
more
like
stupid
that in
stuff than that.
cyclocross.
That's true. That's true. And you know, if you
But
push
yeah,
someone else, I mean, you get kicked out. I mean, she deserved
yeah,
the disqualification, I think. Yes. No.
yeah. It was sad for her. She also got like a light concussion, which is of course
Yeah.
not very nice. But yeah, still bit of a stupid reaction there. But yeah. So why was I actually talking about this? Because she was participating in Maldegem as well today, but she had chain problems. Casasola also was struggling. She also abandoned Worlds, I think. But we had a win for Mari Schreiber, which I think for her is very nice, because it definitely hasn't been the easiest cyclocross season. And because of how she's going right now, she's also prolonging her cyclocross season till the end, apparently. Then we had Inge van der Heijden on 2, Fouquenet on 3. So yeah, that was it for Maldegem. And then we finally come to racing. That still has to happen. We have the UE Tour, of course, and it's a very stacked participants list. Yeah, Christoph did kill the mood a bit while we were preparing this podcast, because he was like, "Yeah, okay, Lorena Wiebes is participating. We know we don't have to watch the first 3 days, but hey, you know, there's something like echelons that could happen, but yeah, then again, Lorena has to miss those, so that's a question mark so far." But yeah, if we go over the names, we have Longobordini, Gillespie, Persico, Swinkels. Then for AG Insurance, we have, of course, as we heard last week, Lecour, Verkieren, for the sprint, for Gladys Verhulst. We have Nivea Doma. Zoe Beckstedt is also coming straight out of cyclocross into the road season. Consoni, let's go on a bit. We have, of course, for FDG, we can go over that completely. Guazzini, Labous. Do you still say Labous, by the way? Because for cycling,
No, don't say Labouze anymore. No, she completely took the name of Berthet. So please don't even mention that other name anymore. She's very, it's a
Oh,
very, very important topic for her. Yeah.
Okay.
okay,
Berthet. From now on,
good.
it's only Berthet. Yeah.
Okay. Ah. Okay.
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 So,
So she does
Juliette
care.
Berthet.
Ah.
Franziska Koch, ik woon Team Raye, Eva van Aert en Jadriel. So that's that. We do have Charlotte Kool for Phoenix Premier Tech, Milène de Zoete, so quite a fast team. Christina Schweinberger, Marten Truijen. Fien van Einde is on there, but I think I saw something like on her Instagram that she's ill. So that's a no for competing. We have Nina Buisman looking very strong in Down Under. Coles Lister, of course, we all saw her win. Petra Stielsny to mention, she rides. We have Nee Fisher Black, who looked the last race in Mallorca. She did ride quite a good race, and of course Margot van Pachtenbeke is participating there too. We have Trinka Colonel, Georgia Baker, Marlon Reusser, who said she isn't in the greatest form yet. And she was also not very happy with the fact that the organization invited her as a time trialist, while she was like, why am I only a time trialist? I'm not more than that. So that was quite funny. We have Chaboko, Barbieri, Pfeiffer Georgie, Mia Griffin, Lorena Wiebes, of course, as mentioned, Anna van der Breggen. It's always, I'm like, no, but probably she will surprise us again, probably. Fidanza, Femke de Vries, who's making a goal of this race. I read somewhere Nienke Veenhoven, Vigier was also looking good. Alerud, Atto Saler, Susanne Andersen, Zanetti. So yeah, I think you get the point when I said stacked race.
Yeah. every woman with two legs that can sprint is actually there, I think. So pretty nice to see. And as well, there's the GC and the teams built around the GC contenders are pretty strong as well.
Yeah.
So I think UAE has to. They have no choice, I think, than to field a very strong squad. Then AG Insurance is there, Canyon SRAM, FDG United. I mean, yeah, I think Movistar, of course, don't forget them. With Arlene Sierra for the help and Ode Bionic for Marlene Reuser support. So there's still, of course, the shadow of Rebus looming over the first three stages, of course. That's you can have all sprint power you want, but it's still, you have to beat Rebus. And like you said, Saar, echelons, you can count on echelons, but she's always there. She's so strong that she's just, she creates the echelons, so it's not...
But let's like manifest new year, new sprint form for the others or something like that. Like it would be nice to see some sort of competition and like not like 3 bike lengths on the rest. But
I mean, it was also in UAE Tour some years ago where Charlotte Kool beat Wiebes. So maybe to just at least bring some suspension. Also with Kool having a new team, with having a good sprint train around her, maybe she can be the surprise, or it wouldn't even be a surprise, but at least that's for a sprint what I would be looking for.
Yeah. And hopefully,
and there's no hill in those stages, so there's no excuse for Charlotte Kool not to be the best version of herself.
No.
So what are the expectations for FDG, Lieselot?
Yeah, I mean in the first 3 stages, we're not really thinking that we can beat Rebus. Of course, you can always try something in the final, but the chances that that succeeds is rather small, we should say. And then on the last stage, yeah, the legs will speak. So I mean, for sure, it's not the biggest goal of the year to go to UAE, and a lot of times it's also surprising to see sometimes some names who are early on in the season already really on form. It's always on Jebel Lafitte that you see some names that then the rest of the year you don't see anymore. But yeah, I mean, we don't think that we can win. If we can have a strong Juliette and maybe some surprises with Eva van Aert and also Francesca Koch, which are 2 new additions to the team that are 2 pretty strong riders. It's kind of a testing the legs. It's opportunities, but there's no pressure for UAE Tour at all.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Just before
see
we
Eva van
go
Aert
to the
pull on Jebel Hafid, Lieselot. I'm very curious what she can do there. It's not
We'll
not
see.
to win, not to win, not to attack maybe, but just to show her domestique level on that hill.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
just before we can go over to the predictions, actually, apparently RCS is like saying fuck UCI because they are inviting Conti teams to a World Tour race.
Hmm?
Yeah. And actually, there were enough teams. At least that was what I read, and like the participants were also there, but they just invited Conti teams to the start.
Oh, yeah, there are several World Tour races that I know that the Conti teams are invited as well. So, but yeah,
It's remarkable, right?
I don't know. Is that written in stone that you cannot select any Conti team anymore in a World Tour race?
Yeah, that was the rule,
Apparently
right?
not.
No Conti teams anymore in World Tour races.
Yeah, well.
It's I didn't study the start list so much in detail, but
yeah, it's
yeah.
yeah, High Tech is racing. Fassa Bortolo, Rini Fantini, so Be Pink actually.
High Tech.
Yeah, I mentioned that as the first one.
Okay.
Bonus points. So that's something, and like they commented on it, like people asked questions, how's that? And they said like, yeah, we're planning to do it at Strade Sanremo, and so on as well.
Yeah, like every World Tour race, I think. No, Flanders not, and Wevelgem
No,
not.
Flanders Classics is not doing it.
No, but I know from High Tech, from the High Tech team that they are racing. Well, not as much as last season, of course.
Yeah.
But they're racing several World Tour races this calendar as well. So don't know, but maybe they're still sleeping at the UCI, or yeah, well, let's see.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's okay for me if it stays that way, but it was like, yeah, the UCI and its decisions. So first they make weird ones, and then they don't matter apparently. Anyways,
It's stricter in 2026. I can tell you that. It's just not so easy for a Conti team to get in a World Tour race in 2026.
yeah.
I can
But they are
assure you
still
that.
here.
Yeah, they are.
Anyways, maybe we can go over to the predictions here. So I decided after my failed hot take last week, I'm just gonna pick the obvious winner, Elisa Longoborghini. And then on 5, I'm going for Reusser. And then on 10, I'm leaning into some She Rides bias again with Petra Stiasny.
Nice. Is Swinkels allowed to win? Or does UAE really need Longoborghini to win? In their title race, in their sponsored race. That's no, I go for Colin Swinkels then. Yeah,
Ooh.
on 1. Oh yeah, 5. 5 Nie Fisher Black, and on 10. Yeah, why not? Margot van Pachtenbeek. It's 10. Do something crazy.
Nice. It was already hurting that I could not put Margot somewhere in this prediction. So good you took it up on you.
There's no podcast without mentioning Margot.
Yeah, no, it's just not possible. Lieselot, do you wanna go now?
Yeah, On one, I'll go with you. I agree with you, Sarah. I'll say Lamborghini. I think 5, I'll put Juliette of our team, and on 10, I'll go with Famke de Vries.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, let's hope for some exciting racing.
That's yes, exciting first 3 stages because Jabal Hafid will be interesting
Yeah.
anyway. Yes.
I'm also
Yeah.
really looking forward to see Kim LeCour, by the way, and the support of Justine Kiezen. I'm already hyped after Jolien Door here last week, so curious for that as well.
Good, good. You want to wrap it up with the new DS in town in the UAE tour?
Yeah, right. We actually have some cool She Rides news as well. So Clara Koppenberg mentioned she preferred to like go into the gravel after she discovered it last year, and the men's team Tudor Pro Cycling is now so she's now part of that as a woman for the gravel scene, which is super cool for her. And then, of course, we have a new DS. We started the hype here in the summer with Valerie de Meij saying she would really like to be a DS next year, and now she's joining them at she's joining Phoenix Premier Tech. So very very.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think that
That's
was
it
the
for.
latest news. Although I maybe need
That
to
was.
mention there's also cyclocross this weekend in Middelkerken.
That's fading away. That's going to the background. The rules are done. That's we're done. We're done. We're done. Okay, let's go back to our guest, Lieselot. We've seen huge steps in minimum wages for the World Tour. What is for you the next big hurdle? Is it the middle class of cycling, like the Conti teams, pro Conti teams, that needs the most help right now?
I think that's what we can all agree on. That the top teams for sure were working more and more professional, even though that while the salaries are increasing, still everyone's having an agent now, which is not always easy for the teams either, because it's the budgets of the teams are increasing year by year, but it's not easy to find that money. That's for sure. So that is still remaining a hurdle, even it might not look like that from the outside. And then, of course, young riders get an opportunity to go very early already onto those World Tour teams, because also just they have longer term contracts and stuff like this. But that means that for smaller Conti teams, it's not easy because also finding the money, it's not easy. Also, just what we just mentioned. Getting on TV and having some return on investments for sponsors, I think it's less easy. And then also just to have the budget to really provide a professional structure around them, and giving them also um, really enough options to convince young riders that maybe it is a good step to first come to our team. Before you join a big World Tour team. And I think we really need women cycling and young riders really need those teams as well. So for sure that is something that there has to be some steps taken to support those teams as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then on to the culture of the sport. You've spoken before about the culture, but compared to back in your days of cycling, how has the mentality of team directors changed since your days as a rider in the mid 2000s?
Of course, like my experience the last 5 or 6 years comes from really professional teams where the DS is also or professional in a way that they just do their job how they should do it, and not as an amateur DS. And with all respect for everyone who's not, but sometimes as a DS you also have to deal with a lot of different struggles that riders are not always conscious about. Of course, it's easy if you have a big budget to organize the best possible way and structure everything what should be structured. But I mean, if you have one person who's both manager, both DS, also helping the mechanics from time to time, picking up riders from airports, trying to go to the sports directors meeting, and then still doing a reckon in between, and preparing his his meeting for the night, yeah, good luck with that. So it is also time, really. It is really time, and how you can become better in your job, because you have just a strong network, and also a strong organization behind you.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
So
then,
in really in no way I can compare the way that we work now, or DSs, because again I'm not a DS anymore, but the way that
mhm,
our DSs work, you can compare it to 5 or 10 years ago, but and that's a good step, but that's also because just there's more structured teams.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, that's a good thing. And then on to the Belgian scene. We see a lot of Belgian talent rising here and there, and then luckily we have the Devo structure of AG Insurance Sudal team, but still a lot of them go to Dutch or French teams. What do we need here in Belgium to keep our top talent in our Belgian structures, you think?
That's not an easy question. I mean, Lotto is also doing their best to have some kind of development for Belgian riders, but at the same time, it's also that long-term vision and that long-term certainty that teams can give you. And yeah, it's you can call it a bad thing, but it's just reality that also young riders are picked up more and more early, and good talents from the juniors, they go straight to the World Tour. I'm not saying that's the best for every rider, not at all. But that's also, again, there is some influence of agents that are also now interested in women's cycling. So there's a lot of factors contributing to that, for sure. And at the same time, if you're a young rider, and it doesn't matter if that's a Belgian team or an international team is coming, and they say, hey, we have a nice project for you, and you have 3-4 years time to develop, and this is the steps we're going to take with you, and this is also what we offer you. And then there's a, with all respect, smaller team who doesn't even have the budget for if to know if they exist the next year. It is just more difficult, really. So I don't have the solution. But yeah, I do think that just having a good environment where they see that they can grow within a team, where they have a nice program, because a lot of young riders also in the World Tour, they don't even have the best program. And of course, you can learn a lot from your teammates on training camp, and you can learn a lot from the professional environment. But at the end, young riders, they just need to race. So if a smaller team can show, hey, we have a nice program for you, this is the races where you can grow, and then at the same time also have a longer, even a 2 or 3 year project, and they have then someone also already who showed that they were on the team, and now they stepped up to a World Tour team and they immediately shine on, then I think those are a lot of things that can help a team to convince young riders to stay.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, lots of and ends that you
Yeah.
mentioned. So
Yeah.
not easy still in 2026, I think. Yeah, and then you have the rule change, like we tackled it already with the UAE tour. Like the new mandatory race attendance is now into effect for the World Tour teams. Is this professionalizing the sport, you think, or is it putting too much strains on the smaller World Tour squads?
The rule for this year indeed is that you have to do all the World Tour races except one.
Mhm.
So there's one you can skip. It is a tricky one, because for sure it's I mean, it goes hand in hand with the financial impact. And I think the calendar this year of only the World Tour races, it is quite okay, I would say, but it also means that just for a lot of World Tour teams, you don't have the room, neither nor the budget to do some other races that are not World Tour anymore. And that again, also for some World Tour teams, it is important, or especially younger riders, it is important that still you can do those smaller races as well. So it is a rule. We have no choice to obey the rule. But yeah, for sure, we would make some other choices. I mean, for sure, if one of the questions that or DSs are asking in October to riders, raise your hand if you want to go to Australia, raise your hand if you want to go to China. I mean, it's not 10 hands that you see, that's for sure.
Especially that last one, the China block,
Yeah,
tends to be not the most favorite one in the peloton,
no,
except
no.
for the UCI party at the end. Yeah, and then the Tour de France of this year finishes in Nice, and then tackles amongst others the Mont Ventoux finally for the women. Do you think the Queen stage on the Ventoux is the ultimate test for the peloton, or is it almost too much for a 9-day stage race?
I don't think it's too much. I think the tour this year, it's nice that again we have a time trial. That's for sure something we missed in the last editions. Um, I think the last stage in Nice will give a lot of suspension, so maybe the Ventoux will not even be the most exciting one. So I think it's a nice parcours, and I don't think that it's too much for me. I mean, I've ridden Alpe d'Huez, I've ridden Col du Glandon, I've ridden Col de la Madeleine this year. I mean, I didn't ride it this year, but I also did the Ventoux, and for me, the Ventoux, of course, it's an epic climb, but for me, it's not necessarily so much harder than what we did the last couple of years, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we have like kind of a gravel boom as well these years, like a lot of road pros jumping into gravel. How do you look at it from FDG's US? Is it a distraction for you for the team if riders compete there, or is it more like no, it's a good part for the riders' technical performance kit?
Path. It's double. There's one side is that it's very interesting for some of the partners, that some partners of bigger teams are also just asking riders, or not riders, just teams to, okay, can you please have some riders compete, because it is a booming business for a lot of brands out there. So yeah, if that's one part, and then of course if some riders come with an individual request to do some gravel racing, it all goes with what is the priority, what is the goal setting of that rider, and how can we fit that into the whole calendar. So it's not necessarily something that we are against, but it has to fit in the entire plan.
Hmm. Yeah, sounds fair enough. And then, if a 15-year-old girl is listening to this podcast, Lieselot, to listening to you, and she's dreaming to be the next world champion. What is the one thing she should focus on outside of just pedaling hard?
I would say keep enjoying what you do, and don't start too early with thinking that you need to do everything professional. I think, of course, power meters are a nice gadget, but just focusing on what your screen tells you, that's the worst you can do. Just keep listening to your body and learn to listen to your body, because the best athletes are the ones who say, like what we mentioned before, I feel this and I feel that, and that's what's most important.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's pretty good advice that we saw like over all the episodes already, Saar. And it's pretty funny when you give youth athletes these days a 3-hour free ride without even putting in watts or instructions or anything. They look completely lost. They're like, and what do I have to do? I just like have fun. And is it
Yeah,
mountain bike or road bike? It's like have fun, do whatever you want.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
can I? It's like, yes, you can. So it's indeed keep the fun aspect at a young age. If you become a pro, I mean, it will be more serious and more about details. But enjoy youth
But
cycling.
and even then, I mean, I
Yeah.
still I still prescribe my riders to say, just go have fun and put your Garmin in your back pocket, please,
Mm,
and just ride why you started. There's hard days where they need to do efforts and be focused, but still the both physically and mentally, what is the most important is that they keep having fun and do that 5 hour, 6 hour ride, and just enjoy what you're doing, because that will always keep the base.
Mhm.
mhm. Best advice you can give, I think.
Yeah,
Isn't it sad?
for sure. Well, then just to close this episode off, we'll just like return to where we started, the classics. So the next couple of questions you can just like complete them. I'm gonna give you a sentence and then you can fill in. My favorite classic is
I have to say Flanders. Yeah.
yeah. This classic will be won by an FDG rider in 2026.
Liège-Bastogne-Liège.
This classic will be the most exciting one.
Paris-Roubaix.
My classic's hot take is...
My classics hot take?
Yeah.
I pass.
Or can you can also just give us a name from your team. We will see something.
Who will surprise us in the spring classics from FDG Suez?
In the spring.
Yeah.
Francesca Koch.
Nice. And last one, the most special thing about the Flemish classics is...
the middle line in between the big roads. You know what I mean? Between the betonweg.
Yeah.
That line that's so internationally recognized as one of the things that you have to be so careful about. That has nothing to do anything with any classics, but it is an important point. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's definitely the most original answer we will get to this question this month.
That was not a random answer. That was yeah. well thought of.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say it's almost 10:30, so maybe it's just a fatigue hitting in.
Could be that too. I think think that's a wrap, Saar. We can put Lieselot to bed.
Your question to end it. What can we wish you for 2026? And the rest of it.
Winning the Tour de France.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
That would be a nice one. And on that note, I think we can wrap it up. I think, Saar, and put Lieselot to bed. That's all that's left. Lieselot is thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for being here with us on the podcast and sharing your insights. I think it was a very interesting episode. And all what's left is just wishing you and the whole team the very best for the upcoming season for 2026.
Yeah. And that Tour de France.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. So, that's a wrap for episode 60 of She Rides. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the rides.
Absolutely. Women's cycling is packed with action, and we're here to bring you every twist and turn.
Be sure to subscribe on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube so you don't miss upcoming episodes. And if you like today's show, a rating, like, or comment really helps us reach more listeners.
Follow us on Blue Sky and Instagram for behind-the-scenes updates and more.
Thanks to Lieselot for joining us today, and don't hesitate to share your questions or topics you'd like us to cover.
Stay tuned for more exciting guests and tag She Rides podcast on Blue Sky. And She Rides is powered by Kariam Endurance Coaching.
Thanks for listening to She Rides, where women's cycling takes lead. Keep watching the fun, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.